Am I the asshole for exposing my husband's affair with his girl best friend at a family barbecue after his father told me to get over it?
Plus 2 updates.
I, 29, have been married to my husband, 31, and for 5 years. Overall, we've had a good relationship, but there's always been one issue. His girl best friend, Megan, 30F. She's been in his life since childhood, and while I've always felt a bit uneasy about their closeness, I trusted my husband and tried to be okay with it. Megan is always around. She's at our house constantly, they text all the time, and she even comes on family vacations with us. Whenever I brought up how their friendship made me uncomfortable, my husband would brush it off, saying she's practically a sister and that I was overreacting. To make matters more complicated, my mother-in-law 58F is amazing. She's always had my back and has told me multiple times that if Megan made me uncomfortable, I should talk to my husband about setting boundaries. On the other hand, my father-in-law, 60M, has a very different attitude. He adores Megan and has always said that she's part of the family, adding that I just need to deal with it. He thinks my discomfort with their friendship is just jealousy. Fast forward to 2 months ago, my husband started acting distant, coming home late, being secretive with his phone, and just acting off. I had a gut feeling something was wrong, so one night, I went through his phone while he was in the shower. That's when I found out he and Megan had been having an affair for months. I was crushed. I confronted him, and he admitted everything. He swore it was a mistake, said he loved me, and begged me not to leave him. I didn't know what to do, so I stayed quiet for a bit, trying to process everything. A couple of weeks later, my in-laws hosted a big family barbecue. I was still reeling from the affair, but my husband convinced me to come, saying we needed to keep up appearances while we worked things out. I went, but I was a wreck inside, especially knowing Megan would be there. Sure enough, Megan showed up like nothing had happened, acting all friendly with everyone, including me. I was boiling inside, but I kept it together. Then, during dinner, my father-in-law made some offhand comments about how Megan would always be part of the family and that I needed to get over my insecurities. He said this in front of everyone. That was my breaking point. I stood up, looked straight at him, and said, "You know what? I would get over it if she wasn't sleeping with my husband." The entire table went silent. Megan's face turned white, and my husband tried to calm me down, but I wasn't having it. I told everyone exactly what had been going on, the sneaking around, the lies, the betrayal. My mother-in-law was furious, but not at me. She laid into my husband and Megan, saying they destroyed our marriage and disrespected me. My father-in-law, though, had the audacity to say I was overreacting and that affairs happen, but I shouldn't have aired it out in front of the family. He even defended Megan, saying she made a mistake and we should all move on. I left the barbecue and have been staying with my mom ever since. My husband keeps begging me to come home, and my mother-in-law has been supportive. However, my father-in-law is telling the whole family that I'm the one causing drama and blowing things out of proportion. Am I wrong for exposing their affair in front of everyone at the barbecue? Should I have kept it private, or was I right to call them out after everything? Edit. Based on what you all are saying, I'm wondering if I should talk to my mother-in-law about what's been suggested, like father-in-law possibly cheating, and see if she wants to look into it. Mother-in-law and I are very close, and their marriage has been rocky for a while. She's been wanting out of it, but father-in-law has been the breadwinner for years. Edit 2. There are no kids involved. My soon-to-be ex-husband can't have children. Mini update. After reading some comments about my father-in-law maybe wanting to sleep with Megan, I asked my mother-in-law if anything weird had ever happened or if she knew whether he cheated before. They've been married for a long time, and it turns out he has cheated 10 times. One that might be particularly relevant is that he slept with Megan's mother. Maybe that's why he's so fond of Megan? As far as my mother-in-law knows, father-in-law hasn't slept with Megan herself. The other 8 affairs were with co-workers and one was with an old high school friend. I'll also be looking for a lawyer tomorrow morning. Mini update 2. My mother-in-law told my father-in-law to get a DNA test with Megan, or she's divorcing him. He said he'd try to schedule something tomorrow. I'm really glad I brought this to Reddit. Some of the things we're learning wouldn't have come to light otherwise. If Megan turns out to be my husband's sister, that would honestly be their problem, and kind of ironic. Mother-in-law told has already decided to get a divorce no matter what, but father-in-law doesn't know that yet. She made up her mind just an hour ago. I'll be helping her with a place to stay, and she's interested in getting into real estate with me, so I'm pulling some strings to support her in every way possible. She's read all the comments here, and between Reddit and my support, she's found the strength to leave him. It's a painful situation for both of us, but I'm grateful we can go through this together and support each other. When the DNA results come back, assuming they follow through with the test, my mother-in-law told she plans to cut off both my ex-husband and father-in-law. For context, father-in-law had been sleeping with Megan's mom for a month or 2, which is why mother-in-law told believes the timelines match up. And yes, my father-in-law knew about the affair, which makes my blood boil. He didn't even have the decency to tell me. If it were me or my mother-in-law cheating, my father-in-law and my ex-husband would be furious. Some clarifications. Some of you ask why my ex-husband didn't just marry his best friend, Megan. At the beginning of our relationship, Megan was in a serious relationship herself. I think after her breakup, my ex started comforting her, and that's when it began. My ex-husband has tried to contact me, and while I've been advised not to block him, it's getting harder to ignore his texts. Megan contacted me. They have an appointment in an hour, so the DNA results should be back in a week or a week and a half. Several people have asked whether they resemble each other. While there are some similarities, it's important to note that many individuals share common features, like brown hair and blue eyes, which makes it difficult to say they truly look alike.